What up everybody, it's Dragos here again, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the squat. Now there's a lot of controversy out there on the two different kinds of squats, one being the thighs parallel to the ground and the other one being the ass to grass, or the A2G type of squat or ATG type of squat. So which one is better, which one is worse, why do some people prefer one over the other, what does each of them do, and who should be doing what? I'm going to be covering that in this video, but first let's take a look at each of the squats, and we're going to start first with the one thighs parallel to the floor. Let's check it out. Okay, so the very first one, the thighs parallel to the floor. So this squat is generally done by everybody, is of course good for everybody, but mostly and foremostly I recommend this to beginners. So if you're just starting in the gym, you're just starting to learn squats, you're just venturing with putting a bar on your back and trying to squat deep, thighs parallel to the floor is as far down as I would recommend you to go because it mimics sitting on a chair. So it's the best way to work on your form, improve your form, and if you're really having trouble with doing this form, you can always throw a chair underneath you. If you have a bar or dumbbells in your hands, you can essentially sit on a chair and then stand right back up. So this way you can help yourself learn the form much better. Now, thighs parallel to the floor. So what does the squat essentially work? Well, generally speaking, not going into too much detail, you're working your thighs, your quads, your hamstrings, and of course your butt gets involved as well. That's why so many people say if you want a butt, a bubble butt, you have to do squats. And of course, what happens during this type of squat is when you're going to your lowest position for this type, meaning thighs parallel to the floor or forming that 90-degree angle at your knees, you're essentially stopping into that slight split second of isometric hold, which means that the muscles don't stretch anymore, they don't flex anymore, they're just stopped, and then that stuck push and pull motion to not move you to allow you to go any lower, but you're getting ready for the ascending part of the squat. So you're starting to go back up. Now at that 45 or thighs parallel to the ground point, the muscles don't fully get stretched or flexed depending on which muscle you're talking about. And just to understand that a little bit better, let's check out the A to G or ass to grass type of squat so I can explain a little bit better and you guys can have the visual in your heads about what I'm talking about. Let's check that out right now. So now you've seen both types of squats and you have an idea exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying ass to grass and thighs parallel to the floor. Now, continuing on off of the idea that the muscle does not get stretched fully on the one parallel to the floor, when you're going all the way ass to grass or A to G, you are getting that quadricep muscle, or more exactly the hamstring, stretched to a very good point, and of course your glutes as well. So they're getting stretched beyond the point of what you would stretch them if you only go parallel to the floor. Now, is this a better thing? If you are an advanced lifter, then yes. This will challenge your muscle just that extra little bit more, because what you're doing is the two most basic filaments in the muscle, in your muscle fiber, the actin and the myosin, they will get stretched or pushed to their absolute limit, so to speak. Obviously you can stretch them even a little bit more, but for sake of argument in this one, they're getting stretched to as low as they can go in the squat. the more stretch in the muscle you get and then coming back up into that full flex, the better the muscle development you will achieve from these squats. So the butt muscle, specifically talking about the gluteus, you will stretch it, and then coming up at the top, I always encourage everybody to squeeze that extra little bit more, so almost thrusting your hips forward to be able to get that extra little bit of squeeze, because flexing the muscle at the end of the movement is just as important as stretching the muscle fully when you're doing mid movement in this particular exercise. So again, if you're an advanced lifter, I do not recommend this one. If you're not used to squats, or to beginners, you go to that depth, you have the risk of getting stuck down there. And if you can't get up and you don't have a spotter, you will have to throw that bar off your back. You can hurt yourself, or another dangerous thing that can happen, you will start rounding your back. Now, as you can see, as I'm going down, I'm trying to keep my face forward, to keep my vision up, try to keep my back as straight as possible, but you can almost see that the tip of my lower back, right where my butt is, it's kind of curving in a little bit, then coming back straight as I'm going back up. And that is something that is very difficult to control because of the nature of the sacrum on the spine, and the lower back, the L5 and all that. It's very difficult to keep that straight. And of course, I'm not the most flexible person in the world either, so this kind of a contortion on the spine is just very difficult for me to keep straight. However, most people, when they go down, they don't know how to keep the position properly, or they have even more tightness than I do. They'll start curving that back even more, so it's almost like their lower back goes from a nice straight position to wonk, going right into the ground, and you have a danger there of spraining your lower back, or getting stuck down there, or whatever the case may be. Now, another point of danger is, and I've mentioned it before, is getting stuck down there even though you may have a great perfect straight back. Now, you can get stuck down there if your muscles are not used to start the flexing motion out of that full stretch. You have to remember that it's very difficult for your muscle to contract, recontract maybe fully from that full stretch position. Now add that on top of that your full body weight and maybe a bar with a couple of plates on your back, and you're just making it that much more difficult for the muscle to come back up. Hence why most people that can do, let's say, I don't know, 250 pounds doing thighs parallel to the floor, they need to go lower in weight if they want to go ATG, because it is that much more difficult. So the muscle needs to recontract from a full stretch position to come back to that comfortable flex position, or to standing position in this type of squats, meaning that the actin and the myosin are almost stretched to that full potential, that you go any more deep and they will be beyond flexing again. But to most people, they are very weak in certain stretched positions. If you do not train them properly, they will be very weak and will not be able to recontract back so you can come out of that deep squat. So it's a good idea to be very careful if you are a beginner, if you're not used to that motion. As to grass, yes, it is more beneficial in the sense that you stretch the muscle more, you create that more full range of motion, and when you come back up to flex, you're going through that much more movement of the fibers, so you develop the muscle better. In the case of the butt, you round it better, the thighs get a little bit bigger, you make them thicker, and you just tear those muscle fibers in a good sense, not in a bad sense. You tear them better so that when they repair and they fix themselves, the muscle gets that much more bigger, that much more strong. So ass to grass is good, but if you're not used to it or you're a beginner, stick to thighs parallel to the floor. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It still works the muscle to a good extent. You still get the benefit out of the squats with thighs parallel to the floor. But if you can train yourself to that point where the squat goes all the way down deep, you get that much more stretch out of your muscle. But of course, I mentioned this and I cannot stress it enough. Do be careful on your lower back, and do not get stuck down there, because it is a pain in the butt, literally, to get out of that kind of a squat, especially if you don't have a spotter. So one thing that you do need to watch out for, that if you're not even going parallel to the floor with your thighs, then you're kind of wasting your time, because there is the concept of half squats or lower half squats or whatever the case may be. You know what, I would just keep them to either thighs parallel to the floor or going all the way A to G. So I really hope I answer some of the questions out there and some of the controversies about the squats. Yes, they are both good, but if you're not even going parallel to the floor, then it's a little bit of a waste. There is some science and some people that say that part of your quadricep is worked better when you're not even going to that 90-degree angle on your knee, so you're kind of going 45-degree angle. But that is a whole different story that some people are against it, some people are with it, but regardless of the fact is, keep it either 90 degrees on the knee or go beyond that and go A to G and get that stretch much better. So I really hope that this video was of help, and I just have to apologize a little bit for some of the shakiness throughout this video, but my real camera is a little bit out of commission right now, and I had to do this on my phone, and holding the arm extended for quite a little bit and trying to explain at the same time. I do a lot of motions during my explaining. I get a little bit shaky, and this whole video was just a tad bit shakier than I wanted to do it. But I'm gonna have my camera ready for my next videos, and battery charge, everything operational, and I'm gonna have that thing on my tripod, and no more worries about shaking. So again, I apologize about that. But in regards to the squats, I hope that I've answered some of the questions out there. I hope that I make them very clear. If you guys have any trouble or are still not too clear about how to do them correctly, or what's the difference between the two rather, shoot me some messages, shoot me some comments below this video. I'd be more than happy to go into even more detail about this, into the physiology of the squats, anatomy, going all the way down the muscle fiber. Like I said, I went into a little bit about the actin and the myosin in this video, but if you're a little bit unsure of what that is, or you've never heard about that and you want me to go into a little bit more detail about those two, again, shoot me a comment. I'd be more than happy to do a little bit of physiology review for me and a little bit of a physiology lesson for you guys on what those two thingamajigs are and how they work, how they essentially make your life in general possible, because they're the basics of your muscle contraction. So any questions, throw in the comments below. I've even posted my email at the end of this video, so shoot me an email if you'd like. Follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm posting lots of small videos about things that I'm doing in the gym myself for my own progress, and hopefully that will give you some ideas about what to put into your workouts, what to do during your gym time, or how to do stuff correctly. If you find that I'm not doing something correctly, by all means throw in some comments over there, and I would love to go into a little bit of a debate of am I doing it right, am I doing it wrong, why is it right, why is it wrong, and things like that. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, throw a like, throw a subscribe. There'll be more videos coming in, and I have taken a little bit of a break because this weekend was Mr. Olympia. Thumbs up to Phil Heath for winning that again. The guy looked amazing. If you haven't seen it, he was really on point. He really looked great. His posing was on point, and I have to say he really deserved it. So congratulations to him. But now I'm back to posting my own videos. I've got a little bit of inspiration from that. I've kind of seen some things that could help me as well in my upcoming competitions. And what's the better way to learn than from the pros themselves, right? So that's what kept me a little bit off from videos the past couple of days, and of course other work as well. But that was the main thing that I was so excited about from this just past weekend. But otherwise, stay fit, stay healthy, and keep on pushing towards those goals. I'll see you guys on my next video.